ARESxGOD here, and what just happened with this episode? Okay, now this is an episode we've been building up quite a lot with the last few episodes, and this one just like, yeah, let's crank it up to 110% over here. And Gojo just lost, and he actually got bodied. That didn't even feel like an actual fight. We're gonna get to that, but even with Rico, let alone the Gojo fight, this episode is just simply insane what happened here, and I have so many questions. I'm even struggling a bit to figure out everything, but yeah, what an episode, and just wow. This is why I love Jujutsu Kaisen, so let's get into it and talk about it. Now, at the start I was a bit confused here how the episode started. It picks up from last episode, Kuroi being kidnapped. We see here Geto blaming himself for leaving her behind there, but of course it wasn't his fault. Rico was just such an awesome character. I love her personality so much in this episode, and what happened makes me sad, even though they were leading up to it. We're gonna get to that. She even wanted to go with them. Like I said last episode, there was no way she was gonna leave Kuroi behind. Their connection, how much they care for each other, and they leaned into that quite a lot. And even in the end, Gojo begrudgingly, I'm stumbling my words, he barely agreed to take her with them. And suddenly, this is where I was confused. Beach episode. I'm like, okay, so they saved her. The kidnapping wasn't that big of a deal, so to say. Even Kuroi was blaming herself for getting caught, but somehow they saved her. So that was happened a bit off screen there. I'm like, okay, sure. I wasn't really feeling that moment, if I'm being honest, there with them suddenly skipping the kidnapping, but I think it made sense and it worked for the episode because it wasn't something very big, so to say. Now, also after that, I was happy we finally see Nanami, Young, and this guy Yu. I don't remember if we had Yu in the main series or even Jujutsu Kaisen 0. They're there for support, even though Nanami got a bit annoyed for one thing. Now, I really liked this moment here back at the beach. Gojo and Riku playing around, but from there I started getting worried. It felt like a long goodbye, even though Gojo was doing this for her to get assimilated with Tengen-sama. I was worried about Rico, not because of the assimilation, and I was proven correct. We're gonna get there. Now, what I really liked is how much Gojo cared about Rico. He even extended the trip there for an extra day to give her time for fun, to have like a last moment in the outside world there. And even Geto, I really liked how much both Geto and Gojo know each other and how much they trust each other and rely on each other here. Geto knowing what Gojo was doing, telling him, you have been keeping your technique up for a while now without sleep. They're in day 2 there, so for over 24 hours. And Gojo also trusting Geto, saying, I know, but you're also here. And them relying on each other just makes me even more, how did we end up from probably one of the best bromances, best duo partners that we have, what happened in Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the movie, how it ended, or how it was implied with Gojo killing Geto, and how much of a piece of shit Geto turned out to be, from how awesome he is right here, to also in the main series we have Geto being one of the main villains and somehow still alive after apparently Gojo killed him. But slowly things are being revealed here. But even right now, I know I don't have the full picture, the full information here. I'm missing a lot of things. But I think we have 2 more episodes until this arc ends, and then we get into recaps. It's still, so far, I'm still not sure how Geto turns into the evil Geto that we know. Does he blame Gojo for what happened? We're gonna get to that. But after that moment between them, they spend more time, they're relaxing, like a last meal or a last outing for Rico. And I'm like, she's probably gonna die. The more they're leaning into that, I'm like, yeah, Rico's probably gonna die. I don't want her to die. I hope I'm wrong. But yeah, Rico's probably gonna die. This was here the beginning of the episode where I was fully convinced she was gonna die. And I don't mean the assimilation. Now, after that, day 3, they finally make it into the Jujutsu High inside the barrier. This was such an awesome moment here when the perfect transition. Geto telling Gojo, hey, this time you worked really hard, and that small moment playing right into Fushiguro's hand. The transition was awesome. As soon as Geto said that, Gojo relaxes for a bit, drops his guard and even his technique, and gets instantly stabbed in the gut. I'm like, damn, that escalated quickly there from 0 to 100 in 1 second. And this guy was in full control of the entire fight ever since that that moment. And we even see a bit of a flashback before we get into a fight. He was curious in Gojo and his powers ever since he was a kid, and he went to see him as a young kid there, and Gojo was the only one that sensed him when he was behind somebody, and that's why he kind of always kept him under checks, so to say. He always checked up on Gojo, knew about his powers and things like that, and this is why he took this approach right now in his fight, because of those eyes, which I hope we're gonna get an episode where everything is explained about Gojo's powers, how exactly they work together, because yes, we know some things with how Limitless works, some questions about 6 eyes there, so yeah, there's a lot of questions there, but Fushiguro definitely in control of the fight would be an understatement here. Now, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be an awesome fight, which Gojo is probably gonna win. Makes sense. This guy seems very strong. Maybe Gojo is gonna struggle a bit, but in the end, he's going to win, right? That was my mentality going in. Even Gojo was saying, I'm gonna deal with this guy. Gary, take the girls and go back in the barrel and leave. Now, this is where just all shit hits the fan. Now we have Fushiguro just, when he burst out of the curse that Geto put him in, and even Gojo sensed something was off about this guy when the fighting started, and figuring out quickly that he has an heavenly plaque, no cursed energy, which means amplified physical strength, very similar to what Maki has. Not to the same level, I don't think Maki is anywhere close to how strong this guy apparently is right now, but maybe Maki can also get some of this power, learn something, because this guy seems very, very broken. And I think his mind is probably the most dangerous thing, because he controlled the entire fight, and Gojo, he wore him down, like he said, since the beginning of this entire thing. He created the opening that he needed for this fight, and even tried the way he was. The first charge he charged at Gojo, even that one was controlled. He probably knew he was gonna get pushed back hard. Of course, the animation looked great, the fighting, but Gojo was actually worried doing that. You can see it on his face, his voice, his reaction. Something didn't sit right with him, and commenting, hey, this guy is very, very fast. He wasn't the one that we always know. Gojo is in control of this fight. Ever since we've known Gojo, nobody has been able to stand near him in terms of powers, let alone him not being in control of the fight. And I love this so much, even more considering I know this is not the Gojo that we know, the one full in control of his powers, which makes me even curious. If right now he lost, we're gonna get to that. Who is gonna be able to stand against him when he has full control over his powers? Because how much it was needed to get him into this state, how much wearing him down, controlling the fight, putting him into this situation, just shows how broken Gojo is. But also Fushiguro, how good he is. That's why I said his mind is much more dangerous than his skill. Now, what I liked here, Fushiguro's trying to use the buildings as covers from there, and I always like something like this in characters when they do it. Hey, you're doing this overcomplicated plan, covering, manipulating, doing something along those lines, hiding behind something, and when a character is just like, fuck it, we're gonna clear the board. And Gojo just unleashes blue, so he's able to use blue but not red, and just does a 180 there, clearing all of the buildings with blue. I love that moment so much, but even that doesn't work in his favor, because Fushiguro uses those fly heads, curses, whatever the last cannon fodder, just to distract him and not have him being able to detect the curse that Fushiguro also had on his shoulders. Which side was it? This side? I don't remember. Oh, sorry, I hit the microphone. But that was the only way to detect Fushiguro, and right now he lost even that small way of detecting him because there were way too many curses, and since Fushiguro doesn't have any curse energy, yeah, again, being in control of the fight there. And this is the key moment right here. Gojo hesitates for a bit, thinking of two possibilities, that Fushiguro might go after Geto and the girls Riko, or come after him. But that moment was all that was needed, and just got butchered. Honestly, he gets stabbed in the neck, cut his chest, stomach. There a lot of stabs. That was overkill, to say the least, and he went ham on him. Gojo definitely lost that fight, like by a lot. He wasn't even in control ever since the beginning, let alone the beginning of this entire incident. Everything played in the palm of Fushiguro, let alone the fight that we had here, if we can even call it a fight, because while Gojo was the flashiest, he has the flashy techniques, it needed a lot to bring him to this moment. Fushiguro controlled everything. I was just blown away. Gojo losing this badly is insane, and how gruesome he lost there, and like, how is he still alive? Because yes, we know he's not dead. If this was the beginning of everything we knew about Jujutsu, I was like, yeah, there's no way he survives that, but somehow he did. Now, probably also related to what he did during the first stab, saying he used his technique to cover up a bit of the damage. He's holding himself together there when he told Geto he can leave, and it missed all his vital organs. But I'm curious here if he used his powers to do the same thing. While he still got stabbed and it hurt, did it actually hit any vital points here? I'm really curious, because there's no way Gojo is dead, because this is a flashback, this is the past, we know he's alive, the movie and the main series. So I'm really curious how exactly he survived. But take this L, Gojo. As much as I love you, one of my favorite characters, you got bodied. And it wasn't even close. That was such a cool moment and fight there. But yeah, and we see that Fushiguro used this tool also, inverted spear of heaven, which forced the release of any active techniques. So that also didn't help Gojo at all. So it shows there are some weaknesses to his power here. I'm really curious if there are other tools that also apply to when he has his full power and control here. So Gojo is not this infallible character that we have come to know him in the present of the story. Of course, he's much more powerful there, but he definitely has some weaknesses, and I'm very excited to see if somebody is gonna be able to fight toe-to-toe with Gojo in the future, because it has been shown it's possible. Of course, an incomplete Gojo, but still. Now, after this, we have Geto and the girls going down to Tengen-sama, and this was an awesome moment. Kuro and Riko saying their goodbyes. Again, they care for each other very, very much, and I was getting more and more worried here, but I'm also glad something happened. I'm really glad about Riko, and also sad at the same time. We're gonna get to that. Now, they finally reach the center there, the Tomb of the Stars, center of the barriers, and Geto tells her, this is up to you now. Only you can go inside. Only the invited ones go to Tengen. But I love this moment. We have a flashback. with Geto and Gojo talking about it, considering what if Rico refuses the assimilation, and they were willing to go against everybody to give her this choice. And I'm so happy because I've said it since the start of this arc. How is she okay with this? How are they okay with this? Sacrificing a person, even though it's something very, very important. I get Tengen barrier, everything, blah blah blah, one to save millions and however, but still Rico is such an awesome character and an innocent girl. But this is where they give her a choice. Geto saying, I talked to Gojo and it's up to you. If you refuse, it's okay, we're gonna be here for you. But we get some flashbacks with Rico. Pretty much her entire life led up to this moment. She was always special. Everybody told her she's special. She lost her parents, which, yeah, of course, she lost them. I'm curious if somebody killed them or was it just a freak accident. And her entire life was basically leading up to this. But things changed, and I was so happy she made this choice, saying, I want to be with everyone longer, and she chooses life. And I'm thank you, Rico, you were way too okay with going through with this. And Geto was an influence, Gojo was an influence, Kuroi was an influence. They gave her something to care about, not just this entire pressure goal somebody always put on her. She finally made her first choice in life, and like, yeah, I knew it was gonna happen. And just the moment, again, the transition was perfect. As soon as Geto extends his hand, come with us, instantly gets shot and she dies. But yeah, I'm sad. I knew it was gonna happen, still hit, but at least she made her choice. Even though it was her final moments there, she didn't become some sort of blob for this barrier guy, which you still haven't met. I wish she didn't die, but unfortunately she did. And Fushiguro's there. She was the one. He was the one that shot her. He made it there after he butchered Gojo, and I really like his personality, the arrogance, the way he carries himself. I want him dead, of course, definitely. He needs to die, and I hope he's going to die not somewhere locked in whatever prison of curses and somehow. Or wait. What if Geto's gonna be the one that releases him in the future? But I don't know how that's going to turn out, because right now Geto is fuming. He's angry beyond belief, even more when why are you here? He was confused. In his mind, he left him with Gojo, and the way you were always the strongest, there's no way Gojo was gonna lose, right? But no, this guy is here and like, what do you mean why I'm here? Oh, right. Well, I killed Satoru Gojo, and Geto just goes Hulk mode, starts summoning all of the curses there, and it cuts off. That was the episode. But yeah, overall insane episode. I'm excited about next week, to say the least. I want to see how Gojo is still alive. I want to see how Geto is still gonna be alive, because if Gojo couldn't defeat that guy, how is Geto gonna do against him? So that's gonna be interesting. But yeah, I'm sorry about Rico, even though they made it very, very obvious ever since the beginning of this arc, and even more this episode. But yeah, awesome episode, and this is Jujutsu Kaisen. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about the episode and the series so far, and what do you think with Gojo losing. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. Make sure to check out the podcast, Because Anime. I'm gonna see you again in the next one. Bye bye.